Joining us now live in studio, we have special guest Plymouth County DA Tim Cruz. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Christine.
Well, you've got a lot going on with your office, and one of the things, of course, we've talked about, I think, for over 20 years, DEA Take Back Day. What does that mean when you talk about prescription drugs? I mean, they're not illegal, but they can still be dangerous.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you want to make sure you want to minimize drug theft and abuse in your home. So, therefore, you can have twice a year. DEA will have a Take Back Day. This Saturday is one of them, where you can take all these prescription drugs that maybe they're unused, they're unneeded, they've expired, and you can get rid of them in a safe, environmental way, so they're not back out in our community, and we can do it in a very safe fashion for everybody.
And then I believe during the year they also have most of the police stations, I think, and the sheriff's office also have year-round places where you can go and get rid of this stuff. Yeah,
about 10, 12 years ago, we funded drug disposal boxes throughout the county, throughout Plymouth County and the police departments, and Bridgewater State University, Stonehill College, Massasoit, so that you can show up at any time with those sort of drugs, whether they be prescription meds, over-the-counter meds, veterinary meds, nutritional supplements that you no longer needed. All those can be brought, they can be dropped off in a safe fashion. And then what will happen to them is they'll be taking, it used to be Covanta, now it's Reworld, and they have sustainable waste solutions. They will destroy them and incinerate them in a safe fashion, making sure they keep track of everything. So if you dropped off 3 pills, those 3 pills will be destroyed at Covanta. We'll make sure all the numbers work.
And I brought them into my local police station, and there's nothing embarrassing or weird about it. Just speaking from a personal point of view, if you think, oh, they're going to be looking at, no, they don't. They just show you where it is. You put it in. I know there's also an environmental benefit because I believe some people were actually flushing some of these drugs down the toilet.
Yeah, and that's really not very positive for our environment, and therefore that's why partnering up with Covanta, which is now Reworld, we're able to make sure they can destroy them in a safe, environmental-friendly way, so therefore they're not potentially going to contaminate our water supply.
Now, also, you're taking place in a walk. They've done this for a number of years, too, and that is with a special walk, and it's helping survivors of domestic violence, and it helps them I guess, take steps toward a safer future. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, every October it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's a month to remember the victims of domestic violence and also recognize the awareness raising efforts that go in our community as well as across the country. So this Saturday, Family and Community Resources Inc. we're going to hold their annual Walk for Survivor Safety at Bridgewater Middle School. Our walk begins at 9:30. There's going to be a community cultural fair. There'll be resources there. Unfortunately, because the domestic violence really does not have a zip code, it's everywhere. And how do you help people that need help the most? And 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men have been victims of domestic violence. So it happens all too often.
Do you think people would be surprised if they knew what the numbers look like here in Plymouth County about cases that your office is involved in with domestic violence?
Yeah, I think they would be. I think people think it doesn't happen here. And unfortunately, you can go to any of our courts on any given day, and you're going to see people who are getting restraining orders, people who are really up against it. As we sit here right now, we're actively prosecuting more than 270 domestic violence violation applications. So you have those restraining orders that are out there, individuals violate them, puts us in a position to prosecute them to keep people safe. So I think that, people need to understand that there's a lot of good people out there. There is help out there. There's help at the court systems. There's a lot of survivor groups that if you're in a situation that you need help, please reach out and don't hesitate to call the police. They have tireless efforts in trying to help victims and keep our community safe from these sort of events.
Now, it's interesting with this walk, too, this FCR walk on Saturday. It's not just a walk where it's just completely straight all business. There's some local fun. There's some fun stuff going on as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff at kids because unfortunately, when DV happens, it usually happens. As I said, 1 in 4 are female, and that means there's going to be young kids, and the kids need to be. The kids are kids, and they're going to need to have fun. They're going to need to have opportunities to get food, to have some fun in the area. So it's really a community cultural event that you can go there and you can go and get help. The kids can have a good time and also understand, really like with everything in our world, that you're not alone. There are people here that can help you. So when you feel you're up against it, trust me, there are good people out there that can help you.
So I know sometimes you'll hear people say, well, I think I'm in a bad situation, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to cause a problem, or they're worried that they'll call and maybe they won't be taken seriously, or they're not sure about the process.
Right.
Well, what do you tell them?
I tell them that if you feel that you or your children are in danger, to call the police. And if you feel that way, do not feel bad about calling the police and getting help and being taken to court or go to court and getting restraining orders. All too often we see a lot of our domestic violence cases will be brought to court and they will eventually go away because these people, when these men will show up in court, they promise the world, and then the cases usually will be dismissed the first time in, especially if they're married and people take the marital privilege. But usually you see, and unfortunately you see, many people come back. So that we need to deal with the issue as it is right now. It's best for you, it's best for your kids, it's best for the community.
And if people have questions about this, or they need to get help too, or any of your other programs, how do they get in touch with the Plymouth County DA's office?
You can always call us at our office, 508-584-8120. You can also look on PlymouthDA.com for the resources that are in our community regarding domestic violence. And like I said, there is help there, and please don't hesitate.
Thank you very much. Again, that's Plymouth County District Attorney Tim Cruz.